What is up, guys? My name is Dave Colagiovanni. I am the owner to Supra Inspections. This is the Supra Show where I get to interview the most important people in real estate. This week, hanging out with me, Roman and Vladimirsky.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, look, this month we're talking about real estate teams, which I believe is the best thing that you can be involved with as a realtor. There's so much exposure to be had. But I want to start here, Roman. What were some of the challenges in the development of your team, of putting your team together? What did that look like?
I think the biggest challenge for me over the years was finding the right first hire, right? Because when you decide that you want to build a team, you know you want some time back so that you can grow your business, so you can focus on business producing activities and not focus on, I don't want to say the minutia of the business, but the activities that won't yield you new business. Right, so I think for me, it took me 4 first hires to find the right one. Mm-hmm. Whether it was not the right personality fit, not the right culture fit, the person didn't have the same goals as I did. And I think the biggest key is to find somebody who can walk like you, talk like you, act like you, be you, and have the same standard of customer service as you. Because at the end of the day, your clients, they don't care about you, they just care about the customer service that you and your team represent. So it took me 4 years to find the right person.
Wow. And so, and then I want to lead into this question here. What's the importance of being part of a team? And, talk about being the leader of the team. What's the most important thing that you do as a leader of this team?
The most important thing that I do is to just make sure that everybody has work, everybody's making money. Oh, wow. Right? I want to build a big enough world for my team where they're not going to look elsewhere. They're not going to look at other teams. Yeah. They're not going to, I want to continue growing their world. I want their greener pastures to stay in my world, basically. And again, it's just finding the right people, understanding them. What are their goals? What are their personal goals, not just business goals? What's their family dynamic like? On our team, we have, our spouses have their own chats without us. So it's a family thing. So to get that kind of dynamic is not very easy.
Wow. All right. So you hit up on a lot of really good points right there. And so what's your number one advice for someone looking to start a real estate team?
Don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time. Find the right people. Define what does your team stand for? What do you want to be? It's like being a brand. What brand do you want to take? What direction do you want to take your brand in? Yeah. Right? Find the people that fit that brand, that fit that culture, and just don't rush. It's going to happen. Yeah. And that was my probably biggest flaw, and you can ask all of my coaches in the past. I'm very impatient, which is why it took me 4 tries to find that right person.
Wow. So, and you just hit up the word branding. So I've seen a whole bunch of the Vladimirsky Team branding throughout our community. I think you guys do a really great job with that, and you're doing it on social media, and then I'm seeing actual signs, the Vladimirsky Team, and which is super important. How are you trying to brand your team? What's sort of the vibe that your clients, get from you guys that you believe is going to work for you?
We like to have fun. It's about making money, closing deals, getting listings, helping buyers, but we like to have fun. Yeah. There's a lot of, let's face it, there's a lot of realtors out there on social media that are just very serious and, hey, here's my new listing, check out my new listing, right? But we like to have fun. We like to make fun of people. We like to have a good time. And that's how we are behind the scenes. That's how we are with our clients. Yeah. Our clients become friends. They're part of the family, and we like to portray that on social media as well.
Awesome. Yeah, so look, the social media, everyone's got to check out the Vladimirsky Team social media page. It is so informational, for one. 2, the humor, it's like, I think it's the best out there, and that's why, I'm sitting next to Roman right now. But other than social media, what do you find to be the most cost-effective way to build your team outside of social media?
Don't be afraid to talk to people. Outside of social media, it's really just attending events, networking, which I'm working on, networking, going out,
Yeah.
it's all about how many people you know. The proof is always in the numbers, right? If you know more people,
Wow.
they're going to refer you to more people. It's really just that simple, right? Don't be, like we like to call in our industry, don't be a secret agent, right? People have to know that you're out there and that you do real estate. Just like you guys too, right? With your home inspection, you guys have the merch, you have the social media.
Yep.
So you want people to know you, you want realtors to know you.
Yeah.
That there's no other way to get business.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's free.
And yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, we do a lot of paying. We pay to play in this industry, as we like to put it. But so I want to talk about some branding mistakes. What is something that you've learned through branding your team and yourself? Let's talk about some mistakes you've made along the way, and how have you. And I know, you could refer to it as a mistake, but because everything's a learning process. But what have you learned from branding? What are some of the mistakes you made, and how have you overcome those mistakes?
I don't even know if I want to call it a mistake. I think I didn't start participating in social media sooner.
Yeah.
I wish I started it sooner.
Yeah.
I wish I understood what my brand was, what the TVT brand was sooner. In the beginning, when I first started posting, I was just posting, here's my just listed, here's what just went into contract, here's what just sold, it's in a very nice border, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody really cares how many
Yeah.
houses I've sold. They just want to know who I am, who my team is, what we represent, right? And just like Nike, nobody really cares about the sneaker. They care about what Nike and the culture of Nike represents.
Wow.
The sneaker is just the product that they sell. So I think it's really, I just wish I started it sooner. And that's my biggest regret. But I'm here now, so it's okay.
Cool. Well, so I recently found out that the average real estate career is like 3 years long.
I think even less.
Probably even less, right? What's your advice to a realtor who's really looking to make a career out of real estate?
Again, don't be a secret agent. Know as many people as you can. Tell as many people as you can you are a realtor. There's a lot of free ways of meeting people. Networking events. Your family has to be your biggest resource. You have to literally train your family on how to refer you business, your spouses. Open houses are obviously free. You can do an open house for any listing, and you meet people who have already raised their hand and said, hey, here I am looking to buy or sell real estate. If you're a cold caller, you like to cold call, you go on Zillow.com, there's a lot of for sale by owners, people who have raised their hand and said, hey, I want to sell real estate, but they have to be convinced to use a real estate agent.
Wow.
So train yourself. Don't be afraid. It's an awesome business, but you really have to learn how to hold yourself accountable, because there's really nobody here holding your hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I find to be one of the most favorite questions that people like that I ask is selling your home for top dollar. What's your number one advice for selling a home for top dollar?
It's not what you think top dollar is. That's for sure. I think the market, there's a lot of questions. What's market price? What's market value? Your home is worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it at the end of the day.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I can list your home for 99 cents on the MLS tomorrow. It's still going to sell for whatever the market value is.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no sense in overpricing it. Price it correctly, and it's going to sell where it's supposed to sell, no matter what.
So in today's market, interest rates going up, and we're kind of back at this, kind of where we were at the beginning of the pandemic, where people were kind of in a frenzy, and we were waiving home inspections.
Yeah, still are.
Yeah, no, exactly. So how has that affected your deals, and as a realtor, what's your stance on waiving a home inspection?
I always tell people from the day that I meet them in my office that you are fully entitled to have a home inspection. It is your right. You should have a home inspection. Yeah. It's recommended that you do have a home inspection, right? But I also have to tell them the other side that, hey, there are buyers that are waiving their home inspections in order to win the bid, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So what I've been doing sometimes to get around it, to make people feel more comfortable, is we can bring somebody like you to the showing to do a quick 30-minute look around while they're looking at the house, they're looking at the tiles, they're looking at the color of the floors.
Yeah.
And somebody like you is just taking a quick peek around the house, just say, hey, is everything good, so that they feel more comfortable waiving the home inspection.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm also seeing is people waiving the home inspection but still doing the radon test.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
because you can't see that or
Yeah.
smell it, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but everybody has the right to do it. Some people, they really want the house that bad, they waived it, and I've been involved in that on
Yeah.
multiple occasions.
I've been trying to urge a lot of, my realtor friends to do these pre-listing inspections.
You mean I'm not your only realtor friend? I thought I was.
No, he is. But so, so I feel like this pre-listing inspection thing, it really should become a standard. The reason being is that if we do, run into these situations where people are gonna look, when you waive a home inspection, it doesn't mean that 6 months down the road, because I've gotten calls. People call me for a home inspection. Because my first thing is, you want a home inspection. This is part of real estate transaction.
Right.
It's either yes or no. Usually it's yes, but some people do just want me to take a look at their roof or their foundation or whatnot. Yeah. And so you could always do the home inspection at any point in time. But I find that the pre-listing inspection would be a great place to just sort of, take care of the safety items, whether it's adding guardrails or it's, adding smoke detectors and just, fixing any sort of trip hazards around the house and whatnot. Do you find pre-listing inspections to be the standard, or are you trying to look to do a little more?
So every listing appointment I go to, I do bring up a pre-listing inspection as an option for the seller.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 1 out of 10 even considers it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a darn shame.
I agree. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I just feel because even in today's market right now, I mean, yes, even with waiving these home inspections, if there's some sort of inspection, that happens, I think that's good for all of us, because as a home inspector, I'm here to assist the real estate transaction. You're here to make it happen, and then you need, of course, buyers and sellers, and so there's a whole orchestra of things going on, and if there's not some sort of oversight of even just parts of the house, things can go, seriously wrong. And, it could be, a serious, roof failure or foundation problem, or, some people don't know if the home is susceptible to water intrusion.
Sure. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Water.
No,
right?
Exactly.
So if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, come to our showing, if you can just do a quick quick assessment while we're there, looking at the house, is that something you would be open to? Yeah,
so what that looks like is, if I'm going to do a pre-listing inspection, I'm looking for like just big ticket items, things that, that a buyer is going to really be concerned about. So, looking how water diverts around the structure of a house, I could tell pretty quickly what parts of the foundation are more susceptible to water intrusion than others. I mean, you go to a house, and if the property's pitched from, say, front to back or side to side, you just look at to the highest part of the grading and just know that water's going to try and pool there at that side of the foundation. Sure. And so by pointing that out, you could say, hey, we should make sure that we should monitor this area for water intrusion. We could dehumidify the basement. Dehumidifying your basement is something that's critically important, whether you have water in it or not. Mm-hmm. I do know that there's a lot of buyers out there that if they see a dehumidifier in the basement, they're ready to walk away. But they got to remember that they're going to do the same thing, and they're probably doing the same thing in their house right now. But yeah, part of the seller's inspection is always going to be about just the big ticket items. The water, the HVAC unit, as well as the roof. Anything that's going to cost, I would say, upwards of $6,000 or more to replace. Could be, viewed as, problematic for the buyer.
Yeah, I think especially a first-time home buyer who really just has no idea what they're getting themselves into. That's why I said, like, getting a home inspector in during your showing might be really helpful, just to kind of get that, so you're not worried. So you at least tried to cover your bases, and you're happy to waive the home inspection at that point. Yeah,
no, without a doubt. I just find that the home inspection, more than anything, and I think people really need to understand that, is like, as a home inspector, my job is to pass the liability to someone else. All right, or in insurance, we call this risk transfer. All right, risk transfer is I inspect the roof, I see signs of failure, I call in a roofing contractor to then evaluate it. Okay, if I see a foundation problem, I'm going to call in a foundation guy,
Right.
and then then they're gonna, and then once it's in their hands, and so as real estate professionals or realtors, whenever you're listing anything for sale, there's a possibility of getting sued, because you didn't disclose this, you didn't disclose that. And it doesn't matter how many disclosure statements you have and people sign and whatnot, and people forget that stuff, and next thing you know, there's some sort of lawsuit or settlement that's looking to happen somewhere in that real estate transaction, and so that's why, home inspectors can take on a ton of liability, and then we end up passing that on, and that's what's so important for some of our buyers out there, that it's like, you got to understand where the liability sits, when you agree to, not doing some of these inspections.
And I think that's when the onus is on us to explain what you're getting yourselves into by waiving it,
Yeah.
not doing it, what the risk is, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah, without
Well, that's what I try to do. I can't speak for everybody else.
That does it for this interview today, guys. I appreciate your time. I thought Roman did an excellent job of explaining the team concept of real estate.
Thank you.
It doesn't seem like real estate can only be taken on by one person, but the team is what really makes the dream work here.
Absolutely. More people doing specific jobs, it'll take you to higher levels.
Cool. So look, I appreciate your time.
Good deal, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This is the Supra Show. Take care, guys.